Welcome back, One Piece enthusiasts, TCG players, fans, gamers, pirates, and amigos. The craziest thing just happened. I just recorded this entire video without clicking the record button. So bear with me. I'm going to try to do this one more time. Let's get through another week's Market Watch. Here we go. So this week's going to be a little different. I don't think I'm going to be doing a lot of more market watches after this one, mostly because of the poll that I posted up on my channel. Again, I would love for you guys to interact with it and let me know what type of content you want me to push out in terms of One Piece and what you want to see on my channel, but as well as the fact that, well, we only really got one set. I don't think prices are really going to move too much unless something crazy happens, and with the lack of tournaments in December, as well as with the lack of product, it looks like prices are just going to stabilize at where they're at. So I'm just going to go ahead and just note a couple cool things I want to talk about in this market watch, give you guys a couple of tips on how to do a little bit of more in-person trading, as that's where I think this channel is going to go. I'm not sure if a lot of One Piece players come from other TCGs, but I'm sure there's a lot of new trading card game players in this game, and I want to give you guys a little bit of the tools necessary to excel and have fun at this hobby that I've been enjoying for over 10 years. So with that being said, here we go. Let's see. Shanks at 520. Now, 520 is, not the correct, not the correct price, as this is a lightly played version of the card. The card is actually, once you scroll down, $600, right? So putting these 520 tags, a lot of stores will do this just to have this be the first ones to show. They get to dictate the price. People look at it and they're like, oh, it's actually 520, sir. It's not 600. It's like, no, if you look down, the near mint is 600. Now, the next argument is, what's the difference between a lightly played and a near mint? Well, that comes down to what you want to do with the card. Now, if you want to get your Shanks graded, which I would suggest if you just pulled it yourself, because grading will seal its value over a very long period of time. If you just want to have it in your collection, have it in the binder, sitting there as a card that you can just have and you can just enjoy for over a long periods of time, 520 as on a lightly played isn't bad. Lightly played cards look excellent. They look very similar to the near mint counterparts, and I could definitely see them holding that 520 line, and it'd be very playable. I've bought when I choose to play buy a card for cheaper and play it in my deck. Oftentimes when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh, I would buy the lightly playeds because I knew that over time I was just going to wear it out just as much, and I could get to save maybe like 15% on the card. And saving 15% is pretty nice, especially when I don't have any immediate ideas of selling it for value. I just want to play it, I want to enjoy it, and things like that. Maybe have it in my collection. And I think having your collection lightly played do just that. But if you want to grade it, I suggest that you open the pack yourself and then ship it to PSA or Beckett, or if you see someone pull it in front of you, right? You have to see that one-to-one. You can't expect a card to be shipped across the country to maintain its full integrity, because you know how the mailing system works. So if any dings or anything like that comes back, you're going to be very unhappy. So hopefully, getting them at lightly played is a little bit easier and cheaper and accessible for you. But having this card at $600 isn't terrible. Back in the East, this card was well over $1,000, and we expected it to be well over $1,000 here. But I think what's good about One Piece is that there's a lot of product getting open, and it's very healthy for us that want to play the game as opposed to collect and resell the game. Back when Digimon first came out, there was no product, so if you wanted to play, you were stuck, and people were farming you left and right. They would buy boxes even if they didn't play the game, didn't care to play the game, just because they knew they could resell it to you double the price. And it was kind of sucky, man. Getting scalped on something that you really enjoy always feels terrible. Just talk about StockX. You really wanted this one shoe or this one little, a PS5, and now you're getting gouged for another 50% just because someone was like, oh, I'm gonna be here. That they got lucky, they won a raffle. I don't know. So we're fortunate enough in One Piece that a lot of people invested. We have a lot of product out there, and if you want to play a deck, you don't have to play at max rarity. I'm very sure, and I'm gonna put a couple profiles in the future on very cheap and accessible decks for those of you that are trying to stay on a budget while playing One Piece. On the separate side of the coin, we have Altart Shanks, right? Regular, parallel, schmegular Shanks. $31 for this card is actually really good. Really awesome. The regular art for this card is about $19, $20. The parallel, which is a much more difficult to pull, is now only 50% more. You get, for a $10 price tag, you get this wonderful looking card. The art is completely different. He's so smiley. You have the Jolly Rogers in the back. You have the word Shanks on the side. It just looks amazing in my opinion. And for $30, the fact that this is a higher rarity card, I think will hold value over time. If you can't afford that Manga Shanks price tag, which I know many of us can't, this seems like a lot more accessible, and you can even have multiples of these for the same price as a Nami would be. You might even be able to get 5 of these Shanks in your collection. And if you're trying to be a collector, you're trying to say, this card, I plan for it to be more expensive in the future, which it might after this set goes out of print and over the course of many months. This card might start seeing prices in the 50s, 70s, and so on and so forth. You see it right here with Yamato. Yamato is the foil to Shanks in the secret rare slot, but for whatever reason, although their regular secret form maintains equal value or somewhat equal value, the parallel for Yamato is almost triple of the original price, where Shanks is only 50% or 0.5 more. I think they are both equally, I wouldn't say unplayable, but they're very equally not amazing, fantastic, meta-defining, I guess is the word I'm looking for, defining cards. And right here we have Yamato sitting at 75, which seems way overvalued. Where I think Shanks is under, Yamato is over, and I think the midline where they intersect is at the $50 mark. So if you have the Yamato parallel, there are many factors on why this card would be $75. Let's just talk about this artwork. Stunning. If you've seen this card in person, the texture, the little smoke clouds coming out from the side, amazing. Is this card good? I think it is, but I hear the exact contrary to my my One Piece TCG gamers. Many of the people that are playing green or law opt not to play this card in the deck, but the fact that it also has a weird line of text called "also treat this card as Kazuki" or Odin might be a little interesting as we get more and more Odin support. Who knows? Yamato becomes more and more playable. The 5 for 5 is not good, but it does have a 1k counter to balance, as well as some of the most amazing stat effects in the game in double attack and banish. If this card is not good now, it very well can be in the future, whereas Shanks, if he's not good now, may get power crept much easier than Yamato. If you, and maybe that's why she holds that price tag. Maybe it's the waifu, maybe it's the art, who knows. All I know is that 75 seems like way too much at this current moment in time. Maybe in the future it might climb back up to these values as some deck exploits its very amazing double attack banish effects. But for now, I wouldn't pick this at 75. And it's not just one, it's pages upon pages of this, of $75. Even if this card were to be bought out, I don't think it would move. Let's see. Whoa. Woo lad. It wouldn't move until the next big move is 80 bucks. And then immediately jumps to 85. So this is a big jump here, right? When you see things like this is where you think like, oh, you buy one, immediately increases the value by 5. You want to look for these jumps, and then it jumps from 85 to 90, not very easily. And then from 90 to 100 is another easy skip and a hop. And then we are gone, right? This is never going to happen. This is Disneyland. But $75, way too much for this card. Nami, this is a card that if you guys want, is going to hold value. I think 130 bucks seems to be where this card is going to lie. Anywhere between 100, 120, 130 dollars is just where this card lives. This card is amazing. For what it is, a one-drop searcher for Straw Hats, aka the main characters of One Piece, and we are playing the One Piece trading card game. Unless they start making Straw Hats in different colors, blue, purple, so on and so forth, this card is going to be a staple in their decks as it just searches any Straw Hat. So the only way to try to balance this card in the future, or to move this card from being an absolute 4 in your deck, is by including Straw Hats in different colors and then not mixing the color with red, which is an option, is something that they might lean towards. But if you're a red player, you're excited about playing decks such as Whitebeard, Garp, any red leader that comes out in the future, which they're usually pretty cool dudes, Nami, it might just be an auto include. And at 130 bucks, you understand, because the card is stunning. It is not easy to pull. So I can completely understand its price point. Again, 100 to 120 is where I see this card sitting for a very long time, even after the March influx of product that might come in. Queen. This card, right? You're thinking to yourself, Yadam, this card sucks. Or maybe you're not. Maybe you're like, yeah, Dom, this card's a broken. I don't know what you're thinking, but let me tell you my thoughts on it. I thought this card sucked. I read this card and was like, I'm going to pay 1 Dawn for a worse statted queen than the structure deck. I'm not going to draw cards, and all I'm doing is gaining rush. I don't really need rush to lethal you in Kaido. Kaido kills you without rush, and it kills you with 3Ks. Why do I need to invest 6 Dawn and then -1 to do what I felt was nothing? Something the deck really, really didn't need. And then I read the next line of text, which is a line of text I think people just often forget. Then, give up to one of your opponent's characters -2k power during this turn. Interesting. Now, for what it is, the card is absolutely stunning. I'm not going to sit here and cap. Look at it. It's amazing. Queen looks fantastic. $9, super duper cheap. Too cheap for what I think this card really should be. This card might be playable. It might be very under the radar. And why is that? Because it minuses 2k power. From who? From the boogeyman himself, Eustace Captain Kid. The 8-drop kid, when he is rested, now goes from an 8k to a 6k. And 6k for purple is much, much, much more manageable than its 8k counterpart. If you already have a pre-established board and you're trying to just finally push through that disgusting card, this queen might make it almost too easy to do. Minusing it by 2k, making it a 6, having your kings be able to contest it, having your Kaidos be able to like dumpster it, making it within range of your leader without expending too much Dawn seems very, very good. There's also the added bonus that sometimes this card lethals your opponent. I don't know how many scenarios that will happen, but it has a couple added benefits. In matchups where this card isn't good, it is still 1k counter, which there aren't many 1k counters in purple, so people really don't play around them or respect them enough. There's also another added bonus about making your deck less top heavy. These purple decks are just so unbelievably greedy that they just get clapped by red, by law. They just, unless they see their 7-drop king, those decks just out-steam them and just make them, you know, it really keeps them in check. And that's the whole point. Your deck can't just be all 10 and 9 drops. It has to have some sort of balance. And the red and the aggressive decks, it doesn't have to just be red. The aggressive decks really keep purple from taking the meta away and being way, way, way too greedy because of their stage Onigashima. Now, this queen makes the deck a little bit lower to the ground. 6 is a much more reasonable costed card than 10. And you can keep this curve lower, which lets you contest the boards of these early aggressive decks. I guess all I'm trying to get at, guys, is queen kind of good. Might be good. I can see this card just like the crocodile that when it was $7, or the king that it was $7 jump up to 20 to 30. There can be an easy buyout for this card that just boosts it up and it stabilizes around the $15 to $17 mark, just like king and crocodile. It makes no sense to me that in a box that's worth $150 and you get 2 alt arts, maybe, that some of the alt arts are less than $10. That's just, even if they're not good, they're still collectible. They're still really good. And you only get 2 per box. So having any that is below 10 seems like a crime. And this one is a little criminal because this card is probably playable. And you can quote me on that. If you play this card in a tournament, your opponent's like, what the hell is that? You're like, this is probably playable. So who knows? As we start seeing more events come out in the future, how impressive this card is. It is on a upwards incline. It is on an incline as we started at 4 and we've made our way now to $9. Who knows? This little penny stock can get all its little piggy all the way down to the $20 market. And man, you have pages on pages of just cheap value. Look at this photo. Stunning. Amazing card. Shout out to your family. And king. I know I mentioned this guy in my last market watch. This card is amazing in purple. Once again, very, very good. Staple, 2, 3, who knows? You got to deal with aggro. And if your locals is giga aggro heavy, you might even want to go 4 on this guy. He almost solo, brings you back from the brink of destruction and helps you get to that late game. It's very difficult sometimes to play as it is a Dawn -2. But if your deck is just heavy ramp with Onigashimas, with Jax, with Basil Hawkins, alluding to a purple deck profile in the future, you might be able to outvalue that Dawn -2. Altar Dawn. $4 with $2 shipping. Me thinks this is a $6 card. Let's look at the market price, $6.74. People will usually put this. It is only one, so it is about a $7 card. Over the course of time, this is an iconic scene from One Piece. It's beautiful, it's foily. It is part of the aesthetic of the game that never changes. Your leader and your Dawn are always present in the game, in every single game. So having those cards in different rarities really kind of brings a different life to your game. And it looks really, really nice. So with that, I think it being a $7 card doesn't seem terrible. I think here on release, look at these. These were below $5, 5 to 4. I was able to pick them up at 4s. That should have never happened. I got very fortunate. I think we're learning from that and going back up. But I can easily see these Dawn hover the $10 mark. You know, and over the course of time, when we don't have this set available, it's not in print anymore, and many, many years to come, this will be a much more exclusive item as it is from the first and initial set. So if you guys want to have a collectible card that is playable, that you'll have over time, just think about it. What is more interactive than the Dawn system in the game? Nothing. And it is a beautiful foily card with some of the most iconic scenes in the show. He's going to become King of the Pirates. I can easily see this card over, if the game exists and has longevity many years, become a 10, 15, 20, and so on and so forth dollar card. So boxes. Sheesh. Sheesh, guys. Oh my lord. 160 seems like a lot of money. Just remember that when you open these boxes, you're going to get a lot of commons, a lot of quote-unquote bulk, and the chase cards tend to be the alt arts. There's 2 alt arts per box. If you don't hit the good alt arts, let's say you hit a queen, which I'm not saying she's he, I'm not going to give it a gender. I'm not going to say the card is good or bad. I'm just saying in terms of financial value, it's just not there. So you're going to really, really get absolutely crushed. If your point is to open packs and have fun and enjoy and have product and commons and a little collection of your own, I still think 160 is too high. I was trying to give it a like maybe, then it's sure. No. It's a little too much, ladies and gentlemen. Let's try to get this, let this go down just a little bit. If you can find out your local game store, support your local game store. Having this at 100, 120, much more reasonable, much more doable. I was able to get my box on release. I was able to only get 1 box, and that box I got at 100. Even at 100, I did not get my values worth out of it, but it was fine. I was understanding that I knew I was going to open this box just to have fun, enjoy something new, and that experience of a trading card game, and get some of the cards that I wanted to see. So even opening those comments was exciting to me because this is the first time I saw them in their physical form, and it was an enjoyable thing for me. But if you're on a budget, just get singles. Just singles it up. Where the single ladies at, you know. Just get your singles, and hopefully that'll help you build the deck the way that you would like it. And then packs, $7. Again, way too high. And now I was gonna do Papa Yadam or Pirate Captain Yadam. I don't know. Let me give you guys a little lesson. Now, if you've come from TCGs in the past, you've been a trading card game player, and this is not a new trading card game for you, then maybe this little section of the video isn't for you. But this is for those of you that are now new to trading card games. Those of you that love One Piece and were excited to play just a new trading card game. Like, I'm going to play this game because I love One Piece. And I know that there's a lot of you out there that are just like that, because I've met so many friends that are now playing trading card games just because they really enjoyed the show. So let me give you some advice. You see these $7 packs now, maybe this local game store, or you can find them only for $10 near you. So you're like, man, $7 is a steal. Now, I'm not saying that a lot of people do this, but here, let's put on our conspiracy theory hats and think about what is the worst case scenario with these packs. I think these packs will usually amount to nothing. A big whole lot of nothing, guys. And I've seen it happen in front of my face. Now, I'm not talking about this gentleman or their store in general. I just seen that this is a practice that I see happen a lot in trading card games. Let me set the stage for you. You open your box, you open the first 5 packs, and in those 5 packs you are lucky. Like, I hit my 2 alt arts, and I even hit a secret. So the rest of the box is quote unquote dead. It's dead in terms of value. Although the commons and all this bulk and the SRs are there, sure. But the price cards or the chase cards that were in this box that will really give you a lot of the value back have now been removed. So what's left? Would you rather open all the packs and then sell a Law and a Kid and like just a couple SRs and hold up a bunch of bulk? Or would you just rather sell all the packs for $7 and get a lot more of your money back. Let's say you open 10 packs, which is much more reasonable. There are 14 packs left, 14 times 7. I can't do quick maths, but maybe my phone can. It seems like much more value than potentially selling a law for 15 and a kid for 10. It really won't get you where you want it to go. So what a lot of people do is once they get those value cards out of the set, they'll go ahead and just sell the rest of it. And if I sold 14 packs at $7, I'd have 98 bucks, which if I got the bucks for 120 and I got my altards, man, I'm in the money. But it's basically scalping, and it's like a not intuitive scalping that I see happen an absolute ton. And this is not like no one buys this Yadam. No one's out here buying packs for $7. Today is the 10th. This is very early in the morning, and still, we have seen about 20 packs get bought. Do not buy these packs, guys. It's not about it being a scam or not. It's about the fact that it's most likely a scam. Now, I'm not saying everyone uses this practice, but I've seen a lot of people do it in front of my face. They're like, well, I'm just going to put this up on my TCG player store because anyone can have a TCG player store. It's an accessible market that allows the public to post cards for sale. It's just what it is. It's a medium to go ahead and do these things. TCG player is not responsible or able to manage how people go ahead and manage their accounts. So most often, they'll just go ahead and do these scummy techniques just to get some of their money back, because to some people that, and well, money is very important. Finances are very important. A lot of people are on a budget, and you really don't want to lose money when you're playing a card game. As it is a hobby, it becomes much more financially feasible if you're able to, you know, stay within a certain realm. So that's what people do. Do not do this. Same with the boxes. Let's say you bought a case. Your case came in and you hit the manga Shanks on the fourth box of the case. You hit the Nami, you hit the Shanks. What are the chances that the rest of the case is good? Slim to none. Now, that's not to say that when they sell the rest of the boxes, you won't get altar leaders, you won't get this, but basically the people have already made, or have already usually gotten their chase card. Unless you can buy a case that is sealed, this product is most often, more often than not, is going to be tampered with in a way or in a form that you're not even aware of. So please do yourself a favor. Don't support these practices. Not only is this done here on TCG Player, it's done on eBay and other websites, because it's not the fault of TCG Player. It's just trading card game communities as a whole. It's just people being people, you know? Not saying that people are scam artists, but you get scammed left and right. You go buy a car, you're getting scammed by the dealership. You go try to buy tickets for a concert you want, you're getting scalped. Everything in life, people are trying to make a quick buck on you. Don't let them make a quick buck on you on a hobby that you're just not aware of. And it might take you a couple years before you start noticing these negative habits that come out of trading from the trading card game community in general. And one last bit of advice for you guys: these prices are just suggestions. They're not real. This Yamato does not have a $75 price tag attached to it. If I went to Walmart, milk has a price tag to it. It has a value and an intrinsic value that I cannot alter. I can't go up to the cashier in Walmart and say, I will pay $1 for this milk. That's just weird. Maybe in some stores across the country, you might be able to barter, but this is a trading card game. It's a collectible card game, and you can barter as much as you want. So again, these prices are just suggestions. But remember, when someone posts this card up on eBay, when they post it on TCG Player, they have to pay fees to this company for hosting this platform for them to sell cards. Not only do they have to do that, they have to buy stamps, envelopes, go to the mailing, to the post office, put the card, send it. There's a lot of intrinsic work that comes into it. And after a certain price point, maybe the $30 mark, people have to put shipping, because you want to make sure people aren't just saying, oh, this card never got to me. So you have to put shipping just to make sure that you don't lose money on it. So once you start factoring all these things, these $30 cards that are being shipped on TCG Player end up being 20%. 20% of the money that you're getting is a loss. So if you want to offer people a realistic expectation of value, you saw someone pull this Nami and they're like, I want to sell it. I don't want this card in my collection. I don't want it. And if they plan on selling it on an online platform, eBay, TCG Player, so on and so forth, they have to understand that they're going to lose about 20% of its initial value. So when you go up to them, you're like, hey, look, I really like this Nami. I would love to have it in my deck, and I don't want to be disrespectful. But let me explain how I don't think that you'll be able to get full value for this card because of the online platforms that exist. So I'm willing to offer you just 20% less, because that's usually right off the top what you're going to lose. So if I go ahead and just show that times 0.8, it's about $104. So I'll be like, hey, would you mind doing, I know the card's value is $135 and you really wanted that full value, but I think we can both win here. I get a little bit less. You don't have to go through the hassle of putting it online. And I'll give you 110, 105 bucks. More often than not, people will take it. People are reasonable individuals, and that's a strategy that I've been doing for a long time. 80%, 85% of TCG players seems to be the norm in almost every other card game. So I want to give you guys those tools to make good trades, make good value, and get the best bang for your buck if you're new to these card games. So with that, your boy Yeehaw Yadam is not going to be doing market watches. I'm going to be focusing on commentary. I'm going to be focusing on deck profiles and giving you more of a tiered content, because I really don't think the market's going to go anywhere, guys. Maybe I'll come back in March. Maybe I'll do some predictions after the first couple competitive tournaments, because those are the real events that cause a shift in the meta. Right now, there really isn't anything that's pushing these cards to be much higher, much lower. So they're just going to stay there. They're going to be encased here on this platform at these prices. So I'll see you guys on the next one, and good luck gaming. Peace.